Hey guys, it's your favorite Unc here. Go ahead and click that subscribe button below so you don't miss a single episode of Nightcap. That button right here. Come for the sports, stay for the stories. Brian Kelly also called out his players last night. He said, his very first word, "This is the first time since I've been here that I'm angry at my team." And then he went on to say, "It's unacceptable for us not to have found a way to win this football game. It's ridiculous. It's crazy." Later, when he talked about USC's Miller Moss, he also said he outplayed our quarterback. Tigers quarterback Garrett Nussmeier, he was 29 of 38, 304 yards. This is Kelly's third consecutive season opening loss. Now, remember when they got thumped last year by Florida State?
Yes, sir.
He was upset at his team because he said, "We're not the team that we thought he was." Now, look, I'm not going to sit here and say I'm not the biggest Brian Kelly fan. Sometimes I go back and forth, but I think he might be on the tab of being overrated. I don't like how he handled the situation. He left Cincinnati right before the bowl game to go to Notre Dame.
Right.
He did the same thing to Notre Dame to go to LSU. So he's not one of my favorites. And sometimes, he turned the program around. Well, why the hell you think they paid him all that money? That's what he's supposed to do.
Right.
I mean, Ocho, man, if I paid you $10,000 to fix my car, man, Ocho got it running. He was supposed to. I paid his ass an arm and a leg.
Most definitely. But again, I think if I'm not mistaken, he says he's upset at his players. If I'm not mistaken, he also took accountability.
No, you lead with that.
Saying it's on me.
Ocho. You lead with that. You don't say after you called out your players and then say, "I got to do a better job of coaching." You say, "I got to do a better job of coaching," and you leave the other part out until you get behind closed doors.
Okay, I see what you mean. You
can't leave. I got to do a better. You done read the team. You done said it was them. And then, hold on. If they keep doing the same thing you talked about, now what is it? There's a disconnect here. So the wires are getting crossed because why aren't they understanding what you're saying? Or are you saying in a form in which they can understand? That's your job as a coach. When you see them on the sideline and they feel like they've gotten the game won, what aren't you doing? It's easy.
Yeah, you're right. Hey, see, the one thing about LSU and Brian Kelly is they not in the same situation like the Floridas. They not in the same situation like the Florida States. See, they got them dogs over there.
Yes.
So they gonna hit the switch. They got them dogs at quarterback. They got them dogs at receiver. They got them dogs at the deep, all the skill positions. And with the interior, offensively and defensively, the meat and potatoes of that goddamn team, they got them. So he don't really have much to worry about. They gonna flip the switch.
I don't know if you noticed, but Georgia's in the SEC. So is Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
So is Texas.
Yeah.
So is Oklahoma. So is Ole Miss.
Yeah.
Oh, he got something to worry about.
Oh, yeah.
He got something to worry about.
But the thing, all the teams you named, let's exclude that. Let's exclude Georgia. Yeah. Georgia's on some other shit. But LSU is going to be able to compete. Going to be able to compete with everybody you just named.
Yeah.
Everybody you just named.
But at some point in time, you keep blaming your players. They're going to no, coach, you.
Yeah. And one thing about it, they not going to fold on you. In the NFL, you do some shit like that, but your players will fold on you, huh?
They'll talk to you.
But they will fold. They will fold on you.
That's what I said. What's the biggest difference? Okay, you dealing with a grown ass man. He got a mortgage. He got a wife. Yeah. A lot of them got wives, got kids. You think you can talk to him like you can an 18 or 19-year-old? Because the 18 or 19-year-old is trying to get where that grown-ass man is already at. And a lot of these grown-ass men make more than the coaches. They will fight, and you know what, out of coach. You can't. I ain't telling you what somebody told me, Ocho. I'm telling you what I know.
I'm telling you what I know.
Like that coach. Yes, I've seen players swing on coaches for being disrespectful. Yeah. And y'all talk about soft, that's easy for you to say, but you got to be careful how you talk to a man. That is a grown man. And he ain't finna let you talk to him in that kind of way. All that mofo, that SOB. Hey, the way Coach Bryant and back in the 70s and 80s and the way those Lombardis and Coach Landry never cursed. He was very biblical. But you can't talk to... Okay. I was gonna say it like that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Them,
throw a chair. Hey, who you think you're talking to? Boy, they'll slide them chairs back quick on your ass.
Very.
Punch you dead in your face on the sideline. See, player, I mean, they get the little shoving match, they yell, but before they had all them cameras, they'll punch a coach dead in his face for being disrespectful.
Oh, it go down.
Yeah.
Now.
So
it go down.
That's the biggest difference. You got to understand. That's why Coach Saban. It was hard for Coach Saban. Now he didn't have a quarterback.
Oh, in the NFL?
Yes.
I done heard some stories about him with the Dolphins. It was funny. It was some funny stories.
Yes. You can't talk to a grown man like you can a kid because they're gonna listen because they feel you can get them to where they need to be. Mm-hmm. Well, that grown man is already there. And you think you can say whatever you want, like you couldn't. Okay.
Hey, I think it was Crowder when Nick Saban was with the Dolphins. Mm-hmm. They went to practice, right? And if I might have a story correct, I might be a little off a little bit. And Junior Seau was there at the time. And goddamn, Junior Seau came out to practice with sneakers on. Like a real practice with sneakers on. And Nick Saban must have told Seau, man, you need to go in there and, put your cleats on or something like that.
Yeah, he and Junior bumped head. Ronnie Brown was on that team also.
And Junior was like, okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. Man ain't do shit, man. Practicing his goddamn sneaker. I think Shannon, Crowder told us, it was something like that, man. I'm talking about I was in tears laughing when Nick Saban thought he won't come in there and talk to them boys any kind of way. No, sir.
Mm-hmm. It's look, players for the most part want to be coached, but there's a fine line between hard coaching and being disrespectful.
Right. That's why you got to know your players.
You got to.
That's why when we was on tour and we talked to Raheem Morris and we talked to D'Amico Ryans, I said, how do you differentiate between who you can coach hard and who you have to pacify? I call it pacifying. You got to pat them on the back to be able to get what you want to get out of them. Because especially now, in today's game, you got players making 20, 25, 30 million.
40, 50, you think gonna talk, 55 million.
You think you're going to talk to them any kind of way? And they making that kind of money? Man, all right.
Like I said.
Yeah, all right.
I done seen players fight. I done seen coaches fight. Coaches fight players fight coaches. Players fight players.
Yeah.
It's a different mentality in that locker room. That's why I believe, like, mentally, what you have to do, because I don't care who it is. It might be a wide receiver. It might be a D lineman. They ain't finna let you disrespect them. They just not.
Nah.
They just not. Mm-mm. And sometimes you got to take a L, but you gonna gain a level of respect.
Yeah.
See, like my grandma said, boy, I can't stop you from doing it, but I break you the habit. I can't stop you, but I bet you I break you the habit. I bet you ain't gonna want to know. Nah, I'm good. Nah, man, you got just like I said, guys want to be coached, Ocho, but sometimes coaches think because you're in an authoritative position, oh, I can talk to him any kind of way. No, you can't. And I understand you're the coach. You can get me fired, you can get me traded or everything. But I tell you what, if you disrespectful, I'll get traded, I'll get fired, but I tear your ass up on the way out the door. I bet you that. I like coaching. And I told Brian Billy, he's like, what? Hey, I said, coach me hard. And if you want to send a message, a lot of times Mike would send messages through me. He would get on me. Right. He knew I could take it. I didn't mind it. Just don't curse me. He cursed me one time. I had a conversation with him. He's like, I'm sorry, 84.
Never again.
We have a great relationship. I think sometimes, Ocho, what happens is that a coach has a perception. When Mike was first there, Mike was the quarterback's coach because he had went to the Raiders. Al, he had fallen out. He ended up coming back. He's the quarterback coach. So when he gets there, I'm mainly a special teams player. He leaves and come back. Now I'm the best tight end in the league. That's not how he remembered me.
Right.
So we kind of butted heads. But what he failed to realize, what motivated me wasn't money.
Yeah.
I'm a praise guy. Just tell him I did a good job, and that's all I need to hear from you.
Right.
I don't need you to tell me, oh, hey, hey, you can be this, you can make a lot of money, you can do. I don't need that. Just tell me I did a good job. 84, we can win with that. I appreciate you that's all I need. And so once I left and went to Baltimore, and when I came back, he's like, you want to bring, I said, Mike, I don't need to see. Look, like I was in Denver. I know what the facilities are like. I know what you're like. I had to have a conversation with Mr. Boland. Mr. Boland had to say, look, I don't really put my foot down, but hey, are you coming back? I said, Mike, you know me. You know what I'm about. I'm about business. I want to win. I prepare myself to win. I try to do a great job of getting other guys to get on board to buy in what you're selling. I said, I don't need to see the facility. All I need to know, do you want me to come back? Because if Mr. Boland want me to come back and you don't, I'm not coming. Right. I'm not. 84, we should have never let you go. Okay, let's do this. I had more money other places, but I thought it was only right that I go back and finish my career in Denver, where it all started.
The right way,
I would have never been happy, even if I'd have took more money from Seattle, had the opportunity to go to the Raiders, it wouldn't have been right. Because in my heart, that's not where I wanted to go. I wanted to go finish my career in Denver, but I just needed to hear him say it. Once he said it, I was cool, Ocho. I was like, okay, let's do this. And plus my family, I didn't want to put my kids were still young. And man, having to get my kids to fly
and travel way across yonder.
From Atlanta, Seattle, by themselves.
Oh, no. Yeah.
And then even my mom, because at that point in time, my mom had retired. So my mom would fly from Chicago, because, this was but after 9/11, that stopped. Well, that stopped. But she was still, because their mom would walk them through the airport, send them down unaccompanied minor. But after that point, I would fly my mom there. They would walk them to the gate. Then my mom would meet them at the gate, and then they would come to Denver, or my sister would do something like that. Right. But yeah, you got to just be careful.
Hey, we totally different too. Like when I think about it, the coaching style that you like and you accept, like I was completely different. I like that hard coaching, and based on where I'm from and where I'm raised, I'm kind of used to it with the cursing and that get me going. Boy, when I had Hugh,
Hugh Jack.
Boy, listen, when I had Hugh, let me take my glasses off so you understand how serious I am, because I be playing around all the time. When I had Hugh Jackson in Cincinnati, and I wasn't playing up to par, and he get the cursing, understanding I know I can get Chad going with a motherfucker, what the fuck you doing? God damn it, come on now, let's go. Man, shoot, boy, that shit just got me. I don't know how to explain it. It just got me going and got me motivated, because I have lapses sometimes. Sometimes I play down to my competition, and all it took was for you to say something to me in an encouraging way, but just add a little curse word to it. Right. When you cook your chicken and you add your seasoning, just add a little. See, I see curse words as sentence enhancers, and it just get me going. It's weird. It's weird. So I love and enjoyed that type of coaching, because it made me want to not only prove myself, but to make sure I don't embarrass you based on all the coaching and goddamn film study and meetings we done did all goddamn week. Let me go out here and make sure I do my goddamn job.
For me, Ocho, I never played down because I know where I was playing. Because Mary Porter was in air conditioning all of a sudden. And the house didn't leak.
Yes, sir. Come on.
And I got kids.
Come on now.
And so that was my motivation. Because I looked at everybody that I faced, well, you trying to get my grandma out this house. You trying to get my kids out of these private schools. You trying to take food off their table. You trying to get Shannon to go back to Glenville with no running water and no end of. Oh no, bro.
Yeah,
you can.
So you thought completely different than I did.
That's the only thing.
Yeah, you think completely different.
That was my motivation from the time I can remember. Me and my brother talking about it when we were sitting on those pine trees. Young pine trees are called saplings, and we bent many of them mofos over. And my grandma said, "Boy, y'all need to stop bending them saplings." That's all we talked about. That's all I thought about. That was my motivation.
Yeah.
And so every time I looked at somebody, oh, you trying to get Granny up out that house, huh? Okay. Or you trying to get my kids up out. So now you trying to feed your kids while my kids start. Now, if somebody's kid's not gonna eat, mine gonna eat. I don't know what you're gonna do about yours, but I'm sorry. But somebody's kid's not gonna eat, and it's not gonna be mine. Mine gonna eat.
Yeah. I like that.
So
I like that. Hey, matter of fact, it's so funny. I think about the different coaching styles based on where you're from. Everybody's different. Anybody in the chat? I know somebody in the chat that's of age. Y'all remember? I know y'all saw The Year of the Bull. Unc, you never saw the documentary, The Year of the Bull, Miami Northwestern, where Teddy Bridgewater's coaching now.
I didn't see it, but I know that's where he's coaching. Okay.
Oh man, listen, man. The Year of the Bull is a coaching style that we all grew up with, and obviously the coach he caught flack for the cursing and the hitting the players and all that. Man, like that type of coaching and that style of coaching, it probably wouldn't work today. It wouldn't work in today's game. Not with these players. Oh, you get fired right away.
They grab your face mask, they grab you.
Yeah, hitting you upside the head, like
kicking your ass. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Man, it's just different now. It's just different. Like that type of coaching and just, oh man, I love that shit.